we can do this, we would do this, but Tony, you haven't paid into your part of the consortium for 3 months. So we actually want to help you, but we can't because you did not follow the agreement. Now, the next person that, oh, Sue, you've been paying into the consortium. You need this loan. The consortium, we've written up a legal contract because the consortium has to be paid back. I think when we get to a place where we can start doing things like that for self, I don't care when Charlie Kirk says you're DEI. I don't care when
Won't have
Stephen
time to
Miller
worry about it.
says we're getting rid of critical race theory. I don't care. My wife teaches African American history online to other students. We're going to get critical race theory taught to our kids one way or the other. It doesn't have to be in your institution. So I agree. The more we start focusing on community, we will care less about what other people have to say. Those are my thoughts.
Love
I agree.
twin Fonda, and then I'm gonna lay a quick little final thought. I didn't held y'all long.
Real quick, the only thing I hope really comes out of this is I just want our people and our children to be safe right now. The political climate right now is very volatile, and we have seen a lot of random attacks on Black folks over the last several years for things lesser than this. And unfortunately, this has galvanized certain groups to blame Black folks for this issue, though we have nothing to do with it. And I'm just really hoping that there are people out there who will do the right thing, that will, if they see something, know something, that they will say something, that they will not participate in undeserving, unprovoked attacks on innocent people, especially children. It's just been happening entirely too much, and there are a lot of factions out there who are looking for any excuse to, some reason to do something that they've probably been already thinking about doing anyway. And I just pray that people will not use this as just another reason to attack elderly Black people in the grocery store, or start stabbing people Black folks at Walmart, minorities at Walmart, or running people down in crowds. We've just seen so much racial violence happening, and I really, just want to tell people, look, be safe, be vigilant, and for anyone who thinks that this cannot happen, there's a lot of grieving parents who will say otherwise.
Okay.
So,
Fonda, what's your final thought?
I really don't have anything too much to say. I'm glad that I came on here tonight to listen to everyone's perspective in terms of uh, Charlie Kirk, and it was good to hear all of you guys, to hear um all of you guys' views. So yeah.
Well, I so appreciate it. I would say, I echo that too. I love this is great. I enjoy this. I enjoy conversations and everybody's different perspectives, and I think that's by far the most important thing is people need to talk and to not expect a monolith amongst people. I think at the end of the day, if we don't talk, then, the one thing Charlie Kirk did say that was actually true. I wouldn't say it was profound, but it was true. If we don't talk, then that's when violence happens. So we do have to talk to each other. And I do think that, again, his Charlie Kirk in and of itself to me is not a really important figure. Prior to September 10th, Charlie Kirk was not a big person in my mind, but I do think that just echoing the point that I made, and we've all talked about it. I think that going forward, I do hope that nothing happens to Black people. I don't actually think anything will happen substantially from, as far as white supremacy to Black people. But it's always possible. we do have a tremendous amount of violence and murder that's happening. And Skull, you know, obviously you know this. Chicago, just an example, and that's not counting Baltimore, Memphis, St. Louis. Um, you know, we've been talking about crime and murder rate and violent crime, and we have a tremendous amount of violence and murder amongst ourselves. It doesn't negate, it doesn't justify anything racial, minus all the racial shit, minus how anybody else feels about us. Internally, we have a lot of death going on simply in our own neighborhoods. That's the numbers are crazy. And I think we need to be alarmed and aware of that just as much. Because if we're talking about what white supremacists may do to us, and we have 58 shootings in 3 days. This is in Illinois. 58 shootings in 3 days is a lot. That's a lot of shootings in 3 days. Um, in my opinion, you know, they act like, oh, 573 murders, all crime is down. 573 murders is a lot. And I know that they want to keep telling you, oh, Chicago's not the top because they want to do per capita per 100,000. But you know, if you look at the murders, and I've gone through the list, if you go through the murders, they're happening in a concentrated area. Chicago's 2.7 million people, but if you look at the violence and the death, it's happening concentrated. So at the end of the day, I'm just as alarmed when I look at black mothers, black fathers, sisters, brothers crying about losing people.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't care who they're losing. I don't care who's killing them. The fact is that they are dying, and we are extremely silent and so used to that stuff internally. We don't even say anything half the time. There's no outrage.
Mm.
All people are sitting here arguing, "Oh, crime is down, crime is down, crime is down." Why doesn't Trump go to Memphis? It turns out they going to Memphis. But at the end of the day, for me, if black lives and losing black lives is a big deal to us, we need to not just worry about white people taking black lives. We should worry about us taking black lives. We
100.
should
Oh,
we need to be
yes.
extremely, and you know what I'm saying, I'm extremely concerned about that, because at the end of the day, our kids might not just die at some white supremacist hands or some white
My
person, white
nephew didn't.
nationalist.
My nephew didn't.
You know what I'm saying?
He was killed
So
outside of his house in Arizona.
literally,
Mhm.
literally. So I hope that we, again, take the opportunity to keep looking inward. And that's not a popular thing amongst us as a group, to look inward, because what's scary to me, and the reason why I wanted to bring up this whole conversation about this whole conservative liberal thing, is that I think that internally, and I could be wrong, I think internally we've gotten to a point where we can't have conversation. The conversations inwardly have become extremely taboo, and they're now being they become to a point where we can't have these conversations. Not us, but we can't have these conversations because it's like, nah, that's anti-black, or you're focused on the worst of us, and da, 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 da. And I'm like, yo, that's a dangerous place, because issues are still there. Cancers don't just go away by avoiding them. They don't go away by looking at something else. You know what I'm saying? So if there's a cancer there in a certain area, we can't just be like, well, my foot hurts, I'm gonna focus on my foot. That's not gonna make the cancer go away either. So I think that we should take this opportunity to look internally, and don't celebrate anybody who doesn't love us. I agree with that. Don't celebrate it. I don't think anybody should celebrate people who don't love us. Um, Make your own decision about Charlie Kirk. At the end of the day, he's just one person. Um, but I think for us, I think that going forward, hopefully we'll continue to have these conversations. I appreciate everybody.